History is peppered with intriguing tales of people who, for all intents and purposes, inexplicably vanish from the face of the earth without a trace. These stories, some of the most fascinating in the annals of unexplained, vary from being well documented to having the flavour of mere legend and folklore. In all of these cases, no one knows what happened to the missing people. Whether they decided to run away and start fresh somewhere new or something more similar is unknown. The Beddington Triangle. Between 1920 and 1950, Beddington, Vermont was the site of several completely unexplained disappearances. On December 1st, 1949, Mr. Thetford vanished from a crowded bus. Thetford was on his way home to Beddington from a trip to St. Albans, Vermont. Thetford, an ex-soldier who lived in the soldiers' home in Beddington, was sitting on the bus with 14 other passengers. They all testified to seeing him there, sleeping in his seat. When the bus reached its destination, however, Thetford was gone, although his belongings were still on the luggage rack and a bus timetable lay open on his empty seat. Thetford has never returned or been found. On December 1st, 1946, an 18-year-old student named Paula Wilden vanished while taking a walk. Wilden was walking along the long trail into Glastonbury Mountain. She was seen by a middle-aged couple that was strolling about 100 yards behind her. They lost sight of her when she followed the trail around a rocky outcropping, but when they rounded the outcropping themselves, she was nowhere to be seen. Wilden has not been seen nor heard from since. In mid-October 1950, 8-year-old Paul Jepson disappeared from a farm. Paul's mother, who earned a living as an animal caretaker, left her small son happily playing near a pigsty while she attended to the animals. A short time later, she returned to find him missing. An extensive search of the area proved fruitless. The vanished man. Owen Parfitt had been paralysed by a massive stroke. In June 1763, Parfitt sat outside his sister's home, as was often his habit on warm evenings. Virtually unable to move, the 60-year-old man sat quietly in his nightshirt upon his folded greatcoat. Across the road was a farm, where workers were finishing their workday. At about 7 p.m, Parfitt's sister Susanna went outside with a neighbour to help Parfitt move back into the house as the storm was approaching. But he was gone. Only his folded greatcoat remained. Investigations of this mysterious disappearance were carried out as late as 1933, but no trace or clues to Parfitt's fate were ever uncovered. The tunnel. In 1975, a man named Jackson Wright was driving with his wife from New Jersey to New York City. This required them to travel through the Lincoln Tunnel. According to Wright, who was driving, once through the tunnel, he pulled the car over to wipe the windshield of condensation. His wife Martha volunteered to clean off the back window so they could more readily resume their trip. When Wright turned around, his wife was gone. He neither heard nor saw anything unusual take place, and a subsequent investigation could find no evidence of foul play. Martha Wright had just disappeared. The mysterious cloud. 3 soldiers claimed to be witnesses to the bizarre disappearance of an entire battalion in 1915. They finally came forward with the strange story 50 years after the infamous Gallipoli campaign of World War I. The 3 members of a New Zealand field company said they watched from a clear vantage point as a battalion of the Royal Norfolk Regiment marched up a hillside in Suvla Bay, Turkey. The hill was shrouded in a low-lying cloud that the English soldiers marched straight into without hesitation. They never came out. After the last of the battalion had entered the cloud, it slowly lifted off the hillside to join other clouds in the sky. When the war was over, figuring the battalion had been captured and held prisoner, the British government demanded that Turkey return them. The Turks insisted, however, that it had neither captured nor made contact with these English soldiers. Stonehenge. The mysterious standing stones of Stonehenge in England was the site of an amazing disappearance in August 1971. At this time, Stonehenge was not yet protected from the public, and on this particular night, a group of people decided to pitch tents in the centre of the circle and spend the night. Their camp out was abruptly interrupted At about 2 a.m. by a severe thunderstorm, they quickly blew over Salisbury Plain. Bright bolts of lightning crashed down on the area, striking area trees and even the standing stones themselves. 2 witnesses, a farmer and a policeman, said that the stones of the ancient monument lit up with an eerie blue light that was so intense they had to avert their eyes. They heard screams from the campers, and the 2 witnesses rushed to the scene, expecting to find injured or even dead campers. To their surprise, they found no one. All that remained within the circle of stones were several smouldering tent pegs and the drowned remains of a campfire.